Emma Stone just dropped a rare comment about her past with Andrew Garfield, and it has fans talking all over again. The two first met on the set of The Amazing Spider-Man, and what started as a movie romance quickly turned into one of Hollywood's most talked about real-life relationships. But after years of silence, Emma is finally opening up, calling that chapter of her life a special time. So what exactly did she reveal? And why is this moment making fans relive one of the most iconic love stories in recent Hollywood history? Let's break it down. When The Amazing Spider-Man hit theaters in 2012, audiences instantly noticed something more than just superhero action: the undeniable chemistry between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. What fans didn't know at the time was that Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield's connection wasn't just acting, it was real. Behind the scenes, sparks were flying. Cast and crew described the two as inseparable, often laughing together between takes and sharing the kind of natural comfort that can't be faked. In interviews, Andrew called Emma magnetic, saying she brought out the best in him on set. Emma, in turn, admitted that meeting Andrew was one of the highlights of her career. Very quickly, their on-screen love story turned into a real-life romance that had Hollywood buzzing. For 4 years, the world watched them not only redefine Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy, but also grow as one of the industry's most admired young couples. For fans, it felt like a fairy tale, seeing their favorite comic book couple come alive both on and off the screen. Fast forward to August 14th, 2025. In a sit-down for Vogue's Life and Looks, Emma Stone surprised fans by making a rare comment about that chapter of her life. And yes, it included Andrew Garfield. While reflecting on the yellow Versace dress she wore to the London premiere of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Emma paused, smiled, and said, "I really loved doing Spider-Man. I loved everyone I worked with. I met Andrew there. I met Sally Field. And Mark Webb was wonderful. It was really a special time in my life." It wasn't just what she said, but the warmth in her words that struck fans. Emma made it clear that what stood out to her wasn't the fame or even the films themselves. It was the people. She described those years as full of fond memories, saying the relationships she built during that time are what stayed with her the longest. And in a world where most celebrity breakups end in silence or bitterness, Emma's rare moments of honesty came across as refreshing, heartfelt, and deeply nostalgic. But while Emma looks back on those Spider-Man years with fondness, she also revealed there was one part of the experience that nearly drove her over the edge: the press tours. Promoting a blockbuster movie might sound glamorous, but Emma described it as nothing short of exhausting. She remembered traveling to 9 different countries in the span of just 2 weeks, saying the constant flights and time zone shifts left her in a state of jet lag she had never experienced before. In her own words, she felt truly psychotic the entire time. It's a rare glimpse into the hidden costs of Hollywood stardom. Behind the red carpets, flashing cameras, and polished interviews, there was a young actress trying to smile for the world while barely holding herself together. For fans, it was a reminder that fame isn't always as effortless as it looks. Of course, Emma wasn't the only one who's spoken fondly about their time together. Andrew Garfield, too, has always chosen his words carefully and respectfully when it comes to Emma. Back in 2021, during an interview with Variety, Andrew described working on the Amazing Spider-Man films as beautiful. Not because he got to wear the suit and play an iconic hero, but because of the people he met along the way. And when he mentioned Emma, he made it clear that their connection went far beyond just playing characters on screen. Andrew said that meeting Emma and working alongside her was one of the greatest parts of the whole experience. Even years after their breakup, there was no bitterness in his voice, only admiration, gratitude, and respect. In a Hollywood world full of messy endings and public fallouts, the way Andrew continues to speak about Emma is almost rare. It paints a picture of two people who may have moved on personally, but who still hold each other in the highest regard. But the story of Emma and Andrew doesn't just live in old interviews or nostalgic edits. It's tied to something much bigger, the Spider-Man legacy itself. Years after the Amazing Spider-Man films ended, fans kept calling for Andrew to return, believing his version of Peter Parker never got the proper ending it deserved. And in 2021, their wishes came true. When Spider-Man No Way Home hit theaters, audiences erupted with excitement as Andrew swung back onto the big screen, this time alongside Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. The reaction was massive. Crowds cheered, theaters shook, and suddenly Andrew Garfield was being praised as the emotional heart of the entire movie. For many, his return wasn't just fan service, it was redemption. And when asked in 2024 if he would ever step into the Spider-Man suit again, Andrew left the door open. He said it would take a great idea, something surprising, odd, fun, and joyful. In other words, he wasn't closing the chapter just yet. Even though Emma and Andrew have both moved forward in their personal lives, fans never really let go of their story. Online, there's still endless buzz about the two of them, memes, edits, and nostalgic throwbacks that reminds everyone of the magic they shared on and off screen. Many fans believe their real-life chemistry was the reason the Amazing Spider-Man movies hit so differently. To this day, some argue that Andrew and Emma's connection made their version of Peter and Gwen the most authentic romance in any Spider-Man film. And with Emma's new comments in 2025, the speculation only grew louder. Could the two ever work together again? Would fans ever get to see their chemistry on screen one more time, even outside of Spider-Man? Of course, these are just fan dreams and online theories, but the fact that people are still asking these questions over a decade later shows just how deeply their story resonated. Emma and Andrew may not speak about each other often, but when they do, the internet lights up. In the end, Emma Stone's rare comment wasn't just about a dress, a premiere, or even a film. It was about a moment in her life that still means something to her today. She reminded fans that while careers move forward and relationships change, the memories we carry from those chapters never really fade. For Emma, that Spider-Man era will always be marked by the people who shaped it, including Andrew Garfield. And for Andrew, those years remain just as meaningful, with both of them choosing to look back with gratitude instead of regret. It's a story that fans can't help but hold on to, not because it's a Hollywood romance that ended, but because it shows that some connections leave an imprint far deeper than the headlines ever reveal. And maybe that's why, even now, the internet still asks the same question. Could we one day see Emma and Andrew share the screen again? Nothing is confirmed, but if there's one thing their story proves, it's that some legacies never truly end.